kept saying to him, Johnny, you're getting some feedback. Okay,
Johnny, you're getting some feedback.
Yeah, Johnny, we're getting some feedback. And he says to us afterwards, oh, yeah, I've been kicking wire all night. I'm like, we thought there was a technical problem.
On that note, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Series 5, Episode 31. Although it is actually Episode 32, we have got two, if you go and look back, we have got two Episode 29s. That's because Gilly doesn't know his ass for his elbow, and when he sets one up, doesn't decide to check the previous episode. So yeah, tonight is Episode 31 officially, but actually 32. And yeah, loads and loads to talk about tonight. All usual shit takes and all that bollocks, all the usual bits and bobs, predictions, league updates, all that balls. How are you doing, Jay and Smarty, before we get into any of that anyway?
I'm all right, mate. Very much. How are you?
In fact, talking of balls ups, we're going to start with a balls up when we've run the intro anyway, because it's really quite amusing, isn't it, Jay? We've noticed it already.
Absolutely.
See you in a sec.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Ought to Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
Leeds are shit.
We're recording, you know.
Oh, shit.
We had a good start. I don't think we've got the personnel.
You can fucking laugh all you want, you absolute bellend.
I think about things, that's why you lot are idiots.
A melted version of a dick that's been shrink wrapped.
The absolute elite shithousery of this.
Jay, I can't get over how much you look like a lesbian hamster in that picture, in that video.
Yeah.
You know,
looks like
a compliment. It's a compliment because you look better now.
How was that a compliment?
Really... No,
you look like a lesbian hamster.
He looks better now is what I'm saying, Smarty. He looks very round.
Well, that's arguable as well.
Like he's smuggling nuts in his cheeks.
You mean he doesn't look like a frigging train spotter now? Is that what you mean?
It's not the look I was going for. It was between growing the hair.
Dishevelled, homeless, train spotting.
You get stuck in the middle where you can't do anything with it. That's all that happens.
No, but you just look unhappy. You just look like you know, like I don't know, just like it's hibernation month and you should be sleeping for like a few months and nobody's letting you fucking sleep. That's why I
didn't look like that before this podcast started, to be fair.
You had a proper ginger beard as well with no grey in it, didn't you?
Yeah. Back in the old days, fucking hell.
Now look at you.
Now look at me. I'm just looking up the names of the pods. I'm looking at the names of the pods, Luke, because now we have two 32s as well.
Oh, do we? Great. That was my fault.
Because we had two 29s, so I made the next one 31 and then 32.
Hey, who cares? Who gives a shit at this stage of the season?
I'm going to edit them all and change them later anyway.
The question is, and the title of this pod is, are we there yet? So that is going to be the main what's the main purpose or the main talking point of tonight's episode when we've gone over some predictions and a little bit of a Preston. So we'll start with predictions, actually, because I think this is the first fuck up of the week. And
quite like that from Salt.
Yeah, hair like Richard Gere, looks like he's eating third gear.
Richard Gere.
That's not even what it says.
No. I just improved it. Right, so here we go. Anyway, predictions. So last week, Lee Fryer was on 69. Oh, unless he bet against us. Did he bet against us again for Preston?
Don't know.
Oh,
so I might actually, Gilly, we may owe you an apology, or I might owe you an apology here, because last week Lee Fryer was on 69, and this week he's still top, but he's on 65, so he's lost 4 points somehow, which is bollocks. Because even if he'd bet against us, he'd lose 5 points. So he's down to 65. I'm coming up the rear on 56. No, I'm
That's
not.
what she said.
Just George now catching me on
2-0.
54. Yeah, so he should have got 1 point. He should be on 70 now. I think Gilly's just look. He's got. I tell you what, he comes up with these ideas done here. Next year, I bet you he fucking sacks it right off.
Well, I mean, so far we've had Reading in our running fixtures. We've had the points going backwards on the predictions. You know what's next?
Our points not awarded whatsoever.
Start it out.
I told him last week that our minus bloody 5 for me. He hadn't added me 5 on Everton, and yet still here we are. Apparently I'm on 31. Mint.
It's more corrupt than the
Yeah.
AFL.
I reckon I'm
That
actually
should be on
probably
at least
top. He's just
36, me.
not been giving me points right all season.
You don't care. I think he just guesses it. It's a load of shite anyway. He's sacking off.
You bet fun. Let's talk about Preston. Obviously, Jay, you did the B&C Monday evening, which is why we're a day later this week with the main pod. Smarty, I know you said you were. Were you keep swapping down on the Welsh beaches?
No, I was family holidaying down in the south in the Devonshire, eating cream teas and all that sort of stuff.
What's a cream? How do you eat a cream tea?
I'm a bit controversial. I eat it properly. I put the cream on the scone or however you pronounce it, and then jam on top. Some people do it other way around, and I think that's a little bit backwards.
I put butter on first.
No, I don't put butter.
Jam.
You don't need butter or cream on. Cream, scone, cream,
butter, jam, cream, and then push them together like that. Evens the cream out. Give them a little shake. What's the fastest bun in the world?
Scone.
Scone.
Not like that one, Jay.
Not like that, Jay.
He's not here for entertainment value.
I'm really glad I'm here.
He's going to come back next season looking like that.
Jonathan Brook, you're getting banned.
Yeah, he's going to come back looking like that overweight lesbian chinchilla again next year. He's going to have had enough of us, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's going to think, "Fuck it, you guys.
You guys have driven me to this.
You brought me." Anyway, Smarty, yes, the game, obviously. Yeah. Let's. I know you. Is that the first one you missed this season?
It's the first one I've missed for a good 4 or 5 years, I think. A long time. It's been a long time. I give my
losing interest then, or is it just one of them that you couldn't really miss?
It would just booked in. It was one of them, like, do we go down there and it's one of them. You got to do these things for your family every now and again, and I did give it to our good friend Lee Fryer. I gave my ticket to Lee Fryer, and I think he enjoyed himself, which is good because apparently it was a great atmosphere. It was a good day, good result. I think it was an atmosphere I was quite envious that I missed, actually, because everyone said it were fantastic. It was one of the best ones this season. Hey, it's right. He deserves it anyway. He's a good lad. So, but yeah, good to get the 3 points against quite a good Heckingbottom team. I didn't expect it to be as easy as it was, but was it as easy? Like I say, it's difficult to tell from highlights in it. So, did you guys enjoy the result?
Yeah, I didn't go either. I gave my ticket to my nephew. My daughter had a game, and that's quite frankly, I prefer going and watch my daughter play football than watching Leeds now, and that's the truth of it.
Fair enough.
I've watched.
Like it.
I mean, if she had had a game, I'd have obviously gone up. But so me and her watched it. We got back literally about 12:20 from her game on the Saturday morning, and we watched it together. Absolutely chewing our toenails off at some stages, but look, it was another one of them for me, wasn't it? It was the Middlesbrough game felt like we really had to grind out that result, and it almost felt like it again against Preston. They weren't a bad side. Arguably, yes, we should have had probably 5 or 6. Pirro would have brought his shooting boots. We had some really good chances, but they're the games that it would have been very Leeds to not win. Do you know what I mean? To draw or even potentially lose. Yeah, a 10-man Wigan, and I just feel like these are the types of games that are going to be part of the reason that we're going to get promoted this season. We've lost a couple, 2 or 3 this season where we probably didn't deserve to lose, or we've drawn a couple where we've deserved to probably win, and ultimately they're the makings of a man, aren't they? What maketh the man, so to speak, is when you can grind out at the business end of the season. Everyone said we were knackered 2-3 weeks ago and that we had nothing left in us. We've come back and we've put 2 very, very physical, tough performances in against some good opposition, arguably. And well, not even arguably, Middlesbrough are a good side to beat them at the Riverside, and then to come back at home and beat Preston as well in the early kickoff as well. So, Jay, what did you make of it for those who didn't tune in to B&C?
Well, and if you didn't, why?
Going back to the Middlesbrough game, it's like we'd come off of a bad run there. So, having had a game like that where it was really up against us, we got those shocking decisions against us, and then we had to spend the last 10 minutes of it just basically battening down the hatches and hanging on. So, to have got through that after everything thrown at us shows the character for me of the team, and it shows that they hadn't given up. the hearts are still in it and all that. And then they followed that up with this win against Preston. And again, we could and should have scored more, but we got the job done at the end of the day. And we never really looked in any danger. There were some individual errors like Firpo for their goal, that kind of thing that we seem to just have in us, and it's something we have to play around. But, overall, we went out there, we dominated the game. Smarty, the momentum graph's still in here, so I'll show you, because you said you didn't know if we did dominate, but look at that.
Wow.
And even when they scored their goal, there's no momentum.
Where's their
in
goal?
Favour. It's under Rin's comment there.
Oh, you go. Like where the
It means that they didn't have enough time on the ball in our area to register momentum.
I did see the first two goals. I did manage to catch the first two goals, because obviously I celebrated the first one, get in, and then the second one when I went bastard. Hey, it's time to go. Yeah, let's crack on. Let's go.
Getting some feedback from you, Smart. I don't know if it's crackling or not. I don't know. Are you hearing it, Jay?
Yeah, every now and again.
Really?
How did you feel about the manner of that conceding so early? Straight after scoring. It's an absolute kick in the knackers, isn't it? You score early on, and then you concede so basically and so quickly after scoring. It just deflates you, and it does make things a lot harder, doesn't it? Anybody who's played at any level knows once you've scored a goal, you're all on a high. You concede. Everyone says keep it tight straight away. That's all you got to do for a few minutes. Get back in control, keep hold of the ball, do whatever you can, but do not fucking concede. And what did we do? Concede. We just made it. I just felt we made it really, really hard for ourselves with that. But as you say, individual error. But we'll learn, and I think we are constantly learning as a team this season, and that's why I keep going back to it. That's why I think it's a bit different this season. And are we there yet? I don't think so. Until we are mathematically there, I don't think any of us will be completely sure, will we? I mean, how do you feel, Smarty, about promotion? Do you think it's almost nailed on now?
I'd say it'd take a monumental shift for it now to go back into the into Sheffield United's favour. I think I've always kind of backed Burnley anyway. However, I didn't expect the total wheels falling off from Sheffield United. Completely taking everyone by surprise.
Complete capitulation.
Last week I said, I didn't want to pull the splinters out of my ass just yet, but I were firmly sat on the fence, and this is when the vast majority of our fan base was losing the plot, and that's it, we've screwed it, we're knackered, we're going to fail in playoffs and stuff like that. It was, and then what a difference a week makes. They've thrown it away of Sheffield United pretty much, and we've battened down the hatches and cracked on, and that's all we needed. We just needed a couple of good results, that you ground out that win against Middlesbrough, and here we are. We're on the cusp of getting auto promote. So it's one of them. I think hopefully the results go our way on Friday, and then Monday could be a very, very good day, especially if we get the win. Again.
And
so go on.
And with that Preston game as well, like there were performances from some players who were getting a bit of stick. Like, people did step up. Solomon was absolutely immense. Hero had a really good game for me, even though he kept missing. He did everything else right. He was getting in the positions. He was getting the chances. You would have expected at least one or two from him in a game like that usually. But he seems a little bit cursed.
This mic stuff.
And then you've got Bamford coming back and carrying on. And he's played well since returning. I'm not a big fan. I feel like his time's passed. But if he's fit and is raring to go like he has been, then he's a useful member of the squad. And it's all it's come back up just when we were all fearing the worst. We're back on an upward curve now. Well, Sheffield United seem to be on a downward curve. We just have to keep that going.
Yeah, I'm just on Sheffield United. I don't want to spend too long on them, but do you think they're going to go into the game? I mean, Wilder lost his head at the end of that Plymouth game, and Garby was right amongst it. Do you think they've dropped off now, or do you think we'll see a resurgence? Do you think they come back now and potentially win every game? Because for it to shift now from either us or Burnley and them to overtake us because of the goal difference, it means we've got to lose 2 games that they win between now and the end of the season, and that means us not picking up a single point and then match their 2 other results. So, and we've only lost, is it 4 all season? So for us to
Something
lose
like that,
two, is it 4 or 5? I think it's 4 in the league.
yeah, it's 4.
For us to lose 2 now in, with 2 games left, with 4 games left, to lose 50% of those is a big ask on their half, and the same for Burnley.
I think so, yeah.
There's a 5-point deficit, a 5-point swing, but arguably that's 6 points, because if they pick up 5 points, we've got a much better goal difference.
Yeah.
So that for me, I don't know how you feel, but I think they've left themselves far too much to do, and that's why I've labelled it "Are we there yet?" And it's a little bit satire with with the picture and the thumbnail. I don't expect anybody to take it too seriously with the Farker and the promotion bus. And if we don't get promoted, then we've got a lot of humble pie, or certainly I have, because of that. But
there'll be questions to be asked if we don't get promoted from this point, but it's looking like the kind of bottle job that we would normally do at this point. So for all the shit that's been thrown at us, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm just hoping it comes to fruition and this doesn't prove just to be a little blip before it all flips around again, as it could. And we all know this. They could be, is it 2 points behind us they could get to before we play? Or do we play before them? I can't remember now.
Yeah, they could do. I think they've got.
Do they play Friday night? We both play Friday, don't we?
We both do, don't we?
I'm not sure.
But it's Easter weekend, so there'll be some earlier kickoffs.
So I'll have to double check that. But if they did end up 2 points behind us, again, it's just another test of character.
No, they've got an afternoon kickoff.
Come through it.
Yeah.
So they're before us.
Oh no, sorry. So Burnley kick off at 3. Sheffield United kick off at half 5, and we're kicking off at 8.
There you go. So there could be 2 behind us, but us with the game in hand.
Or they could be 5 behind us with us with the game in hand.
They could, yeah. And
then if they lose again to Cardiff and we win, that is 8-point deficit. That is an 8-point deficit, and we win 8-point deficit with actually only 9 points to play for, and they'd have to win all those 3, and we'd have to lose all 3 then. So
I can't see them losing 5 in a row.
Nah, I don't think they'll lose to Cardiff.
They haven't lost. They've lost 3 in a row, so this would be 4 in a row, wouldn't it?
But you're saying if they didn't win the next 2?
No. Even if they just don't win Friday.
Okay.
If they don't win Friday, they're 9 points behind, 8 points behind if we win with 3 games remaining. So they have to win all those 3, and we'd have to lose all those 3. I mean, I don't expect them to lose to Cardiff. Cardiff aren't great, but I mean, to give it, they did all right against us, didn't they? So much better than Swansea, didn't they? Huh?
Everyone seems to be fair. Everyone seems to get something against us.
They
haven't had a terrible run. Cardiff have had 1 win and 3 draws out of the last 5.
I mean, I'd happy if they only picked a point up there. But
I thought
you
they'd
mentioned
be a lot higher in league this season, Cardiff. But anyway, sorry.
You mentioned Bamford there, Jay. How important do you think he's been coming back into the squad? Because I know he's not played loads, but for me, that level of not even professionalism, but that the experience that comes along with Bamford, the fact that he's done it all before when we're under Bielsa, he was and just being able to offer something else, not even off on the pitch, but actually in training on the field, and just words of advice. How important do you think that's been in comparison to, say, if we only had Mateo Joseph at this stage? Not necessarily on footballing ability or potential. I
get you. I said on B&C, I think Pirro has seen off Joseph for this season, so he needed somebody pushing him. He needed somebody breathing down his neck, and as much as I've said Bamford's past it, it's over, blah, 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 he's looked good when he's come back, and I can hold my hands up and say that, but there's no agenda here. I call what I see, and if someone's not playing well and I don't think they're going to contribute, I'll say so. Do I get it wrong sometimes? Of course I do. Everybody does. The guy's looked useful on the pitch when he's come on. I don't think he's going to score a bunch of goals. He may not score any goals, but when we are doing what we've done in the last couple, where we're on top of a game and we just need that little something more to maybe keep them a bit more concerned with what's going on in their area and a bit more occupied at the back, he's good for that. And if Pirro's staying on the pitch with him, then I don't really have an issue with that. It's more, I'd be concerned if he was starting instead of Pirro, or I would have been before Pirro had an 8-game non-scoring streak. But we need somebody there. We need another guy behind Pirro that's putting pressure on him, and Whether that's Bamford or Joseph, I don't really care as long as whoever it is fit and ready and gives their all.
Skip says, I don't see what people are seeing with Bamford. I really don't see what he's done in his last couple of appearances. Thoughts on that, Luke?
You don't see. Well, I think you probably have to be a little bit love blind to see that. But I mean, to not appreciate what Bamford has done for the squad in the last couple of games. When he's come on, he's looked really lively. Should have definitely had a goal against Middlesbrough. He does something that neither of our attackers do, and that's makes those unselfish runs. Joseph does it to an extent, but he doesn't do it as well as Patrick Bamford. He's far more experienced at it. Patrick Bamford will put himself into the front of a defender with his back. He's very, very physical for a toff and for a Tory or whatever you want to call him. So he is, and ultimately he's got that little bit of shithousery that we've probably been missing since Alioski, Click, Ampadu got a bit in him, but when Ampadu was out, we had no Bamford. It makes it very, very tough for us when you haven't got. You almost need that, and I'm going to use the term loosely because I'm older than all the squad, but most of the squad, old man in them. You've almost got to do it. When he threw the ball away the other day, that sort of thing. It gets their crowd riled at the Riverside. You could see him frothing at the mouth at him, and he was absolutely buzzing with that because it's slow.
He loves it, doesn't he?
But it's the dark arts. It's the dark arts.
The tempo,
we don't really
absolutely.
Have them sort of people. We had Clicky who used to do it a little bit. In the Bielsa team and stuff. It's just
experience, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think above all, it's just a fresh face. It's a fresh pair of legs. Yes, it is Patrick Bamford. We haven't seen him much this year, and it's just nice to see someone else coming on the pitch instead of the usual Matteo Joseph going and fucking just being a bit of a donkey. And he has got stuff in his locker. He's been unfortunate that his last two appearances, he's got, disallowed goals, which, technically...
It were really good, that Middlesbrough.
Yeah, it was a really nice first time finish. So, it's, I'm certainly not a Patrick Bamford fan. I used to be, I appreciate what he's done for the team, etc. Glad that he's coming towards the end of his contract, etc. But even I'm happy to see him sometimes. I think, do you know
exactly
what? It's all right
same as me that
sometimes. And because we've not used him so much over the season, managers won't be expecting to see him actually, being any use up at the top of the field. So, there might be an element of that, the element of surprise, and everyone knows how good his movement is. Luke's just said it. It brings out just a little bit of something else to the attacking. So it's not a bad thing.
It's a different option, isn't it?
Better, but it is what it is. Yeah.
It is.
It's a different option. And if you remember, Farker said it early on in the season that when he was injured, look, Paddy Bamford will have a role to play in this team before the end of the season. He will be, there will be a level of importance. What do you make of that comment from Bryn that somebody just took off?
Sorry.
Bamford can head the ball to a degree and can hold it up better than Pirro. Do you agree? Do you both agree with that? Do you think he still does? But he certainly heads it better because Pirro just doesn't jump, does it?
No, you don't see Pirro.
I think Pirro holds it up quite well. I think Bamford probably does have an edge on him. He's a little bit more physical.
Yeah.
It's the movement. It's finding them little pockets of space against the front line where obviously Pirro drops a little bit deeper. It's just little subtle differences like that. But when you're seeing one of our wingers bombing down line, you expect the striker to be where the striker should be, and Pirro usually isn't there, whereas Bamford normally is. He is there. He's waiting for it. Even if it's a chip or a cross, he probably will spoon it over the bar because that's what Bamford does. But he's there at the right time, the right place. If Pirro could get into the places where Bamford does and finish, even though he hasn't been finishing that well lately, but you would expect him to finish anything really because he's probably one of the best finishers in the league. But it's a shame you can't kind of stick him together back to back. But it is what it is.
That's
end of season.
Human centipede them, or like the fly where you put them both in the
big
capsule.
Human centipede. That's a completely different thing.
Oh,
mate,
Joel, just get your fucking tongue around my arsehole. Just kiss my hoop.
Aronson can be in middle if he wants.
Isn't it mad that they're both left-footed as well? It's rare to have a left-footed striker anyway.
Best players are left-footed.
The fact that both of them are left peggers. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly been a welcome addition for me to see Paddy Bamford back in the team. And look, he's not going to be here next season, irrespective of what. Or has he got another year left? Actually, he's got another year, hasn't he?
I can't see it.
But I think
Premier League money all being well.
Yeah, I don't. Well, he might do. He might just sit on the bench for the last year. Do you know what I mean? Has he earned that? Probably, but we could do without it. But
Tagging on for a testimonial.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see Paddy Bamford in the Premier League in 25-26, is it?
That's a point.
We aren't there yet. Are we there yet? We're not there yet. So let's chill.
We're not there
yet.
Chill.
Any other sort of positives to take out? Jay, you said that there's a couple of players earlier that you felt had started to show that form or that bite again, and that's probably been missing over the past few weeks. Anybody in particular you want to single out?
Well, as I said before, Solomon looked great. He drove pretty much everything good that we did going forward, the majority of the game for me. Bogle again had a great game and he scored a goal. And Gruev is a bit of an unsung hero because he's had a 2 or 3 good games now in there after being dropped back in. So yeah, any of those, I think they all did well. I think they're looking good. And for all the people that have moaned about Solomon, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
Well, come
Players
on,
that good
save it.
Produce magic.
Save it. We've got plenty to talk about for Solomon. We've got plenty to talk about for the haters out there. Because actually, that's all they are. What is it you call them?
Tacticos or whatever it is.
Tactico nonsense is the best word. So yeah. I don't really think I don't disagree with any of it. I thought the whole team kicked on and did exactly what they did at Middlesbrough, which was one of my concerns was that they'd put a lot of energy and a lot of emotion into that game up at the Riverside. You know, we should have won quite comfortably, but ultimately it was pushed to the wire. Same again at Preston, but I would almost rather win a game 2-1 and push the players to their boundaries or to their limits than actually win a game 4 or 5-0 and us rest on our laurels again and think the league's over and done with.
Not
do you know what I mean?
Season, maybe not.
Yeah, but Mark, you've got to think we smashed Watford and Swansea, and then we hadn't played good other than Coventry really up until recent weeks. You know, we got through Sheffield United and Sunderland without playing very well, and then you've got you throw Millwall in there. Was the only other win.
A challenge. I won't want it to be a walk in the park because then you get a little complacent, don't you? But I don't.
Well, that's where I'm coming from. That's the
nail biting, anxious, thinking.
I just think it keeps them on the toes.
Middlesbrough were like, wasn't it?
It keeps them on the toes, doesn't it? And Oxford is going to be a very similar game. Certainly down there, it's not. It's not going to be nice. Late kickoff, bank holiday Friday. They played really well against Sheffield. I don't know if anybody watched it, but they played really, really well. They wanted every ball. They showed no respect whatsoever to Sheffield United. So I completely expect that. We'll come on to the Oxford game anyway in a minute. But do you have a man of the match in mind, Smarty, from the game, from what you saw?
Solomon. I thought Solomon was very good.
Yeah. Jay?
I think I gave it to Bogle on B&C just because the other two gave it to Solomon.
Bogle was really good. When Bogle... But Emily agrees, Bogle was great all round. When Bogle plays well, we tend to play well. You know what I mean? It's one of them, innit? And similar with Firpo, when he plays well, we tend to play well as well. So, because the wing-backs, or our full-backs, aka wing-backs, when they're getting into the game, and they're showing up for the ball, we're playing good football, and we're playing quite.
We're on the front foot.
Yeah. Well, we have been for 95% of this season, Jay. To be fair, we just haven't been able to capitalise over the course of the season. I've seen some stats earlier from Tactico Nonsense that suggested it wasn't from a Tactico Nonsense at all. It was actually somebody who knows something about football, but it was something along the lines of. Where we should be in terms of our position and whether we're in front or behind. In fact, it might be in the media assets. I think it's from a few weeks ago. The one that
the media.
It's been removed.
I've
got a question for you both. How are you finding the inclusion of Carl Darlow now instead of Ilan Millier?
Good point. It's still. No goalkeeper's ever going to fill me with 100% with confidence, but I am more confident under. I think it's done him a favour, both Millier, and it's done the club favour. I'm not sure. I feel more confident. Is probably in a
It was the
nutshell.
right move, wasn't it?
It was the right move in hindsight, yeah. And there was a lot of people still questioning it. Do you change your goalie at this stage of the season? It's going. You're going to lose confidence. His confidence is going to drop through the floor in it. Melier. But I think he would be quite. I think he'd be quite happy to have been taken out of the firing line. I think he knew he needed.
So.
Do you think it's probably one of the most pivotal moments of the season? That.
Oh, it's a turning point.
If it goes well as we'd like it to, obviously we'll get promoted and stuff like that. And we'll look back at this season, maybe when we review it and look at the key moments throughout the season. Obviously, some of them will be, we should have replaced Melier at an earlier stage, but him actually biting the bullet and putting Darlow in instead of Melier, is that what turned our season round? Do you think? Can we pin it on?
I think so. Well, not on its own. It's certainly a contributing factor, and it shows.
We'll never know. We'll never know, will we?
He will make the right decision.
No, but it's a massive. It's got to be a big part of it, though, hasn't it? Really.
Yeah, it has. I think. Yeah. I mean, you're only got to look how good we are. But then you could argue it coincides with Ampadu coming back into the team and playing at centre back because Stroik's been out injured. I still think our best defensive centre back pairing at this level is Ampadu and Rodon next to each other. Do I think Stroik's a better defender than Ampadu? Yeah. But do I think Ampadu complements Rodon and vice versa? Yes. Yeah. So there's lots of contributing factors. Solomon coming to a bit better form recently as well.
Cheers though. The cheers, mate, when Darlow catches a corner just says it all.
Yeah.
It must give them an extra boost of confidence. Like,
I don't look at Carl Darlow and think, "Fuck me, amazing keeper, best
good-looking lad, though,
best guy in the league." He's great, but as a keeper, I'd say he's quite an average keeper at this point. But average is fine because he doesn't do anything stupid.
He's not average.
Well, above average. He's not a spectacular keeper. He's a good keeper.
Do you know what? I was watching some.
Everything's calm.
Okay.
I was watching some highlights earlier from Melier's when he signed a contract in 2021 for 5 years, and there was a Leeds United tweet. In fact, I don't want to play it because it might knock the monetization off, but it was when they sign a new deal and it shows you all their highlights. And fuck me, he was a great keeper, absolutely brilliant. And I like what happened to him. Like he has regressed. He has got worse. He's got less confident, and ultimately that's it with Melier, and he's very much a confidence player. He needs people slapping him on the arse. Whereas Darlow, you just feel that little bit more confident in him, don't you? Look, he still fucking scares the shit out of you, like a lot of goalkeepers do. They all have brain farts, don't they? They're all off the fucking tits. Like, who wants to be a goalkeeper? Yeah. Goalkeepers were just like the last pick kids at school.
Absolutely. I mean, you look even in Premier League, they're making mistakes left,
of course
right, and
they do.
Yeah.
An element of it, though. An element of it's got to be the level of goalkeeper coaching that we've had at the club, which I don't always think has been good enough, judging by what's gone on.
I think mistakes is made at skill based, or whether they're just a fucking calamity.
But also,
just switching off.
I think as such a young keeper, when he did get sort of chucked in, I'm not sure he's had long enough learning from a good number one. He's had idiots.
He had Casilla in front of him.
Yeah, exactly.
He replaced him, didn't he, very early.
Yeah. And I think maybe there's a case of that, and he's had to just find his own way, and he's lost his way a little because he hasn't had that example of a decent keeper who's been there, done that. Maybe he thinks he's above Carl Darlow for all we know. He might think,
we're completely speculating going off piece there, though, aren't we?
Yeah. I'm just sort of throwing ideas out for why maybe he's regressed a little and why he's struggled.
Well, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it could be anything. We'll never know the true reason. All we can do is speculate.
It does. You want to read that one out? Anyone?
Yeah, Emilu says Darlow feels like a safer option, but think we've been harsh to play down what Melier has done over the season as a whole. We've had a great season, and he's been part of that in the majority. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
He has been very protected, though.
He has been very protected. We've had the best defence.
Haven't we? Haven't we got the smallest XG against?
Yeah, but I think Burnley maybe is the other one, isn't it? I think they've considered next to fuck off.
Trafford, yeah. But he's a good keeper. When you look at his stats, the amount of saves that he's made compared to what the XG is faced and stuff, he's up here. The Melier is through floor. So, yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on then. All all in all, happy with the two most recent performances. Confident going into the last four. We'll come on to the next four.
Got the job
certainly
done.
the next two in a short while. Just wanted to pick your brains about this. It's a little bit off topic, but makes you think. According to Wacko, this isn't shit take of the week. According to Wacko, and we know what goes on Wacko. Someone has cracked the queue on the ticketing website and is purchasing every ticket, yes, every single one, available on the season ticket members day for away days, and is overcharging fans for away games as tickets are guaranteed. Matt Letizia there looking very confused with his tinfoil hat on. What do you make of that? Because I actually read the comments in there, and there's actually a handful of people in there.
Jammy? What is going? It's a few times we've had this bollocks now.
We don't know what it means, Jammy. Don't flash it up. It could say anything, Smarty.
Hang on. Leave it on.
I can't fucking read it. I'm not Mr. Linguist, am I?
Calm down,
Mr.
Mr.
Number
Miyagi.
14 with rice. For all I know.
Hang on. I've got the Google Translate app here. I can use the camera.
Jesus.
Oh, you are smart, Jay. You are smart.
Please like and
Jammy
subscribe
been
to
taken hostage?
OKB, boys.
Oh, right. It's to our Japanese brothers and sisters then.
It is. It's for
There
Tanaka.
you go. Let's get it flashed up, Smarty. What's up with you?
Tell you what, you good, you Jammy.
Yeah, sorry. So I was reading in the comments, and there's a number of people in the comments who go to a lot of away games, and they almost guaranteed a ticket, but they've not managed to get up for the last 2 or 3. So it makes you think: do you think anyone's clever enough to crack that code and start making a quick buck, or do you think it's just people with a little bit of bit salty?
Surely the club would have known that one person or one single entity.
How could they buy it on one?
I think it's possible.
That's what I mean.
It's not. You need a million memberships, wouldn't you? Thousands of memberships.
They've gone. Hold on a second. 600 tickets have just completely disappeared in like that, and I don't. No, it won't have happened.
You've got 600 season ticket friends and family. Yeah, right. Come on.
Yeah, good point.
And then,
you must have a limit on your friends and family.
Yeah, it's bollocks.
Where are these tickets for sale? Because I've not seen any for sale anywhere.
I know, because I'd be buying a Plymouth one off him for what?
I actually looked at the home end, and I thought, oh, should I? But I thought that I don't want to not be.
Do a southern accent,
with
Jay.
our lot. No, I don't want to not be.
Say,
in with
hello,
our
my
lot.
name's James, and I'm from Bradford.
Go on, do it, James.
I will not.
In a southern accent from Devon.
Come on.
I can't even remember what their accents.
You are
like.
really good at accents as well. Go on.
Just do a southern accent. You've got to blend in. Go on.
Go on. Pretend you're in Plymouth now, and you're in the Plymouth end, and Lee just go, oh, fucking hell. Aren't they a bit piratey? A little bit fucking like.
I say that's Steve the Pirate. Steve the Pirate.
Oh, fucking hell. Lee just scored again.
Where you be from? Oh, fucking hell.
Fucking hell, the pirate was better than that, Jay.
Yeah, you're getting thrown out, mate.
Do, mate.
It was this dwarf. It was this northern dwarf. Where are you from?
Sounds like he's just coming from Bangladesh.
Just keep my head down.
Don't see you
That's
anyway.
not difficult, is it?
But anyway, they'd probably cancel it because of my postcode being in West Yorkshire. So
I might have something to do with it.
Yeah,
and I don't want to. I won't want to be there seeing our fans having the time of life opposite, and me be sat with them lot silent. You know what I mean?
Are you still travelling down, Jay, even if you don't get a ticket?
I'm in two minds at the moment because it were going to be a stretch financially to do it because I just renewed my season ticket and it'd all be coming out the same wage in one shebang. So
of course, Gilly's looked into this. Of course he has. Why wouldn't he have done? Busiest man in Chuff in West Yorkshire. Gilly says, I've had a look at this today, Luke. I can't see any API externally facing. If you access the dev tools, this is just absolute fucking IT nerd waffle, by the way. While on the queue, redirect site, it instantly bans you. So I'm thinking what he means is, no, you can't.
What he means is no, basically. It's not
what I could have just said it was no, rather than do all the nerd. But hey.
Oh, what he means is someone far smarter than him. They're out there. Has figured it out.
Oh, there's plenty of people that are more intelligent than us.
I mean, not speak for yourself.
I just want to wind him up a little.
Anyway, back to the main show and my most favourite part of the week.
Hey, has got a shit tick this week, my little sparrowfat.
So we were inundated this week, actually, with the amount of shit takes because the amount of people that have written.
Oh, just lots of people arguing with you on Twitter. Is that what it is?
Not just me. There was loads of it. All over. Honestly, the amount of we probably had about 20 decent tags that I could have picked from this week. So I picked my favourite 4, and we'll let you lot pick your favourites. Jay, can you do a poll on this? Because I can't do it while I'm reading them.
Do a poll.
Yeah, sure, mate. I can do that.
Thank you ever so much. So we will start with Smarty. Can you read this one out for me, my pedigree chum?
I will try. Here we go. The Leeds Press.
Looks
How
a bit
much is
like
he
a
worth
West-
with a picture of Manar Solomon? And Jack LUFC 1919 said, won't sign him on a free. That's got to be bait, that. It's got to be bait, that.
It's not. It's not. There is this very small collective of our fan base who have an agenda, whether that be political or religious. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe it does play a part. Against Manor Solomon. Now, to say you would not sign somebody who's come into a club and he's the first
best player in our team.
He's the first player to register double-figure assists for Leeds United in their first season since Robert Snodgrass in.
I'm going to say
yes, he is.
2006, I think, there or thereabouts.
2006-7, was it?
So it's almost a 20-year record that he's broken. He's coming on loan. He doesn't have to put everything into it. He scored quite a few goals. You think the amount of chances
injured as well?
Yeah, it spells out injured. Do you think the amount of chances we've missed off the back of him as well? Like Solomon should have had two more assists against Middlesbrough.
Shouldn't he? At Luton.
Yeah, and Luton as well. So I just think that's absolutely fucking stupid. It's this small group. It's not even that, Jay, because there's a group of them actually believe that, and that's the problem with this fan base.
I don't know how you've got time to engage with these fucking idiots, me. If I'm honest, you see, if I saw that whilst I was scrolling, I might tag it on Shi Take at week and stuff. But these people that you keep bringing to our attention, as much as we love it, obviously, it's just constant drivel. And to me, it just looks like it's got to be bait. It's just got to be, like there's the Lord Farquaad and Woody and the rest of them. They just drum up bullshit to get a reaction out of people. Surely these people are doing the same. Surely no one in their right mind, unless they're politically focused, thinks, I wouldn't even sign Manor Solomon on
That's
free.
exactly what they are.
No one in their right mind would say that.
No, they're thick. They're
that level of idiot.
Next one then. Moving on.
Professional
Jay,
idiot.
do you want to take this one away, or do you want me to do it?
Go on, mate. I'll do it.
He's getting closer. Get your readers on, Jay.
Go on then, Jay.
Crazy thought here, but what if Chris Wilder wanted to drop points over the last couple of weeks? I'm dying. I can't speak. What if he knew we'd struggle to cope with the pressure if we were being chased rather than the chasers? Oh, my throat went then. Last season, as an example, we crumbled as soon as we got into goal. No, it's because I want to cough my guts up and I'm trying not to. So this guy says, Wilder may have said to his side, go out and give 30 to 40%. Don't worry about drawing or losing because we want to chase those Muppets. They always fall apart. What if he played Joy Division after each result, telling his team, trust in the process? I mean, fucking hellfire. So he's throwing games. So does he need to be investigated for match fixing then? And also, who's going to say that? Who's going to say, let's lose some games, lads? It'll be fine. Fully not knowing what we're going to do in our games anyway. So it's just such a weird, out there take.
This guy's an absolute dickhead, by the way.
Yeah,
I know this guy
a few
is.
times himself and called him out for
I know
being
this
an
guy
absolute
is.
bellend.
He just opposes the club, whoever's there, whoever's in charge.
Yeah, it's always the club's fault and the owners and the managers, and he's actually a Liverpool fan. Brynny's right. I did out him on this. I went back through his old tweets a long time ago and found out he was begging for tickets in the Cop at Anfield. So, can you?
I remember you bringing that to my attention. Yeah,
some time ago. That anyway. Moving on, Jay. That's 2 of them down. We've got 4 tonight. Next one I'll take away. So this is another stat nonce that's trying to make funny of the fact that Solomon has been getting recognition for the amount of assists and the work he's been doing. So by basically undermining the level of Meslier by saying Meslier is now the second best keeper in the league because he kept clean sheets in over half of his games. Just a lot of bollocks, really. That guy's another knobhead. Let's move on.
I mean, it's technically true, but
It is technically true, but it's not because he's the second best goalkeeper in the league. It's because we've got the second best defence in the league or the second best, goals against whatever. And then finally, go on, Smarty, since we can't see you.
I've just seen this. Is he one of
he's one of the online stat nonsense. Who said he never watches?
Let's have a look then. LAFC Mott. Daniel Farke is planning next season and likes West Ham midfielder Thomas Souček. And LAFC Worldwide, allowing Farke to dictate transfers during the summer would be a huge error by the club. Wow. I mean, well, where do you go with that one? I mean, it's just someone that's linked here, and there's already people saying, no, we don't want him. We're not even in the frigging league yet. I mean, Souček's a very, very good footballer. And, you know, at the end of the day, we've got players like Pirro and I'm not saying Pirro might do all right in the Premier League, but we've got players like Bamford who are going to be out the door at some point. We need players with experience and quality, and Souček fixed the bill perfectly, and it won't be expensive. You know, to pass on a striker like that would be a bit daft, but to poo-poo it straight away is just fucking. But this is the thing. I think most of the fans that do this sort of stuff are just after reactions most of the time.
They live in a fantasy world. They live on honestly their football manager and their FIFAs, and they believe that is almost an augmented reality, and that you know that they could actually
dimension.
Yeah,
bullshit.
We've got 200 million. We've got promoted. We've got 200 million to spend, and then they'll go out and they'll do loads of like shit data research and think that they unearthed a gem in the middle of fucking the Gambia or something, and just fucking that'll be that then, and then they'll focus on it like what happened with Mateo Joseph until they were proven wrong with him, and then they'll move on to something else. Now it's Solomon at the minute, and he's not good enough, and then it's now going on to Daniel Farke next season because they got fuck all right this season. They've already moved on to next season because they're right bell ends. And that includes you, Killian, by the way. Bell end. So they're in 4 options.
My ears have turned off. Let me go sort it out 2 seconds.
So there's your 4 options.
Herbert says it's not an entirely unreasonable take.
It's not an unreasonable take, but you've got to give the manager some form of control over who he's signing. You can't just sign players for him. I mean, look at Tanaka, Gruev. He brought Sam Byron back to the club. They were all identified as Farke signings. Not one of them really has put a foot wrong this season. In fact, Tanaka's going to be arguably up for or in the running for Player of the Year. I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Think so.
I just think it's a little bit. I just think they're all a little bit warped, and they just need to go and have find a girl, or go get some fresh air, or I don't know what do kids do these days, because there's no chance on earth these people are adults. Do you know what I mean?
Stare at a screen.
Go drink some MD 2020 in a park and finger some fat bird.
Man.
I don't know.
2020, the good old days. The orange one.
Yeah. The orange one was fucking disgusting. The lime one as well was horrible. I'd take Souček Blaisdre. That's the problem. He would be a great signing. 30 years old, still plenty of. Jamie used to sniff glue. Selenium. Wanking is still an option. That's what I mean. Why don't these kids go and explore? Go experiment with stuff.
That's it. You've never had more access to porn.
I used to glue
boots.
Sorry, Debs, I do apologise. It isn't an all-male show, so I should apologise. Go out and do what you need to do as a girl. Richard, good question, actually. I'll put this to you all. What type of players do you want to see if we do get promoted, I'm assuming, coming in the summer? By the way, is the poll live, Jay?
It is, mate, yeah. It's been live for some time.
Ooh, Mr. Efficient.
That's me.
Check out Jay and the efficiency.
So what do you? What sort? I'll put this around. What sort of players do you want to come in? For me, we haven't the recruitment team since Farke's been here. Haven't really put a foot wrong. We haven't signed.
They're all pissed off with friggin'.
I know they are all pissing off. They are all pissing off. But if the recruitment continues in the same fashion, I'd be quite happy. You know, we sold Archie Gray for 40 million, which I didn't want to happen. Replaced him with a right back and a centre midfielder for 10 million quid, who've been absolutely imperative to our season. You know, Bogle and Tanaka cost us 10 million. So for 25% of the 40 million we raised from Archie, we actually brought 2 players in who arguably do the job better than Archie, but he's got a much higher ceiling, but much better potential. So what sort of profile of players are we looking for? Do we want experienced heads? Do we want some potential head turners? Do we want some exciting signings? What's the prime objective for you, Smarty?
I think it needs to be a bit of everything. You know, we don't want project players, which we were, pretty much focused on under Orta. You know, we had too many projects, and it could be good in a few years. You know, there's still obviously Meslier is a prime example. Jorginho in the Premier League, that was a stupid mistake, but I think ideally a bit of Premier League experience, a couple of flair players, maybe some exotic foreign players, but ideally
exotic. Nice hairdo,
yeah,
bit of
yeah, nice tan, and all that sort of thing, nice trim beard and stuff. I just think there's certain positions that we do definitely need to fill. But yeah, I think we're going to need a relatively large overhaul. I think we just need to go balls out. To be honest, do a Forest, fucking balls out. Take a 3-point fine. Who gives a shit? Spend £1,000,000 on some players. I don't care. You know, there's definite places we need to improve on. We just need to go and do it.
I think we need to get at least 3 players who have played Premier League football, like people who know what they're doing, not just punts from random teams in random European leagues. But then you've got room for a couple of sort of potential signings, a couple of punts maybe, but it's got to be at least sort of 3 proven Premier League players for me. Players like Souček, who could do the job and would provide a firm base to build on the season after if we could stay up.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think Souček is exactly the type of player not to get excited about and start, but I think Souček's been absolutely fucking sound for West Ham for the last 4 or 5 years since he's been there. He's not a bad player, he had some steel. He's bring some height into the midfield. It's not that the other guy we've been linked with is Weigl as well, and he's a similar type of player to Souček, quite big. And, yeah, Weigl.
Terrible. Stick to the day job, mate.
Sorry.
Bryn Johnson said, what would he be looking for? He'd be gambling on Evan Ferguson as a striker, need a goalie, 2 centre-backs, right-back. So basically a new team, Bryn says. A winger is a whole new 20.
Keeper, all defence. Couple of midfielders.
Wasn't Ferguson valued at 45 million by Brighton only last summer before he went on loan? But he hasn't really had much playing time, so I don't know. Mark Edison says, get Raf back.
Oh, yeah.
Herbert just has a few South Americans. What, just like from the Amazon rainforest, or what? I mean, we're just going to pluck about thin air. I think he's probably got barking up the same tree as Smarty there when he's saying sort of flair type players.
Latinos. Check him out, because
whatever we do, we have to get a Pablo replacement.
Top tactical players, Cillian says. There's a surprise that he's after some tactical. Gilly said everyone knocked Forest, including me. Couldn't register all the players. Look at them now, flying. Yeah, look, they've got
good manager as well, though.
Did they sign about 20? And they signed Steve Thingy, didn't they? When they were struggling. Steve, what's his name with the crazy face? Ugly bastard. Steve Cooper. Yeah, they sacked him, didn't they?
Jesse Lingard, didn't they, at one point and all?
Yeah, Jesse Lingard. So I think, did they sign about 20 players in that summer?
25, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Some players, yeah. And they signed that lad they brought a lad in, didn't they? Who they then couldn't register. And they signed him and just left him.
That's right.
You'll have to go somewhere else.
See you're on plenty of registers, aren't you, Jay?
Not anything along those kind of lines, Smarty. I'll leave that to other members.
Sorry, mate.
I do love it when we get into Jay on a night. Makes my evening.
Water for ducks back.
Luke's getting hammered in comments. Jay's getting hammered on. It's beautiful.
Steve Brown says a massive overhaul. We need 8 to 10 players to be competitive in the Premier League. I don't think he's far off. I think realistically out of that starting 11, then who do you think starts? Who could play Premier League based on that's our best 11? I would argue Rodon, Ampadu. I think Bogle's even a question mark. Firpo's going anyway. Tanaka, Dan James, Solomon, but he's not our player. And then I'm struggling. I'll be honest.
Maybe Gruev.
Maybe, but he wouldn't be starting, would he?
Nanto did start for us in Premier League when we were up there.
Probably not. Nanto doesn't feel like as big a deal as he did then. He's got to play his way back in. for me to
but that's us, though.
start for us in the Premier League.
We'll see. But, some of these players are going to have to play. We're not going to get a completely brand new starting 11. It's just not going to happen, realistically.
No, I know. That's not the way we do things. We always sign sort of 3 or 4 players less than we actually need, so I'll expect that again.
We'll see.
Yeah. Cool. So let's move on slightly. We'll go through some starred comments really, really quickly because we've already been on 55 minutes and we've still got loads to do because we all talk shite.
Cheers,
thank you for coming, Cillian.
However you pronounce your name. Cheers. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I agree.
Cheers, mate.
So first of all, this is actually from my online nemesis, but yes, Debs.
Sorry, I just went to remove that then.
Christensen has gone. And thanks to one of my online nemesis, we've got a photo of him of him here from his early days at Leeds United. There he is.
What the fuck is that?
That's the fairy Viking himself. And while we're on that topic, these are people I've never met in my life that decide to basically have a pop at me online. They've done me as Brian McDermott. It gets better. It gets better.
Oh God!
Oh my Lord.
That's my favourite one. My favourite one. It's so you.
And then the Pierre de la Resistance.
Pierre, you mean peace?
My Lord.
Peace, whatever it is. And then Luca Bin Laden. So keep them coming because I absolutely love them. I'll be honest with you. I think they're quite funny.
I think they're
Christensen has gone though. £7.7 million is the fee. We have had their pants down, if you ask me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Agreed. I'd have paid them to take him just to get rid of him.
You sound like that idiot in the comments that said you won't fucking sign Solomon on a free, you idiot.
What? Because I don't want Christensen.
No,
you're out your ass, man.
You wouldn't pay for him to do it, would you?
I'd have fucking give him away for nothing and effectively paid. Written it off.
I'm saving that as a contact photo, by the way.
Yeah.
Who's that ringing you? Oh, it's just me, mate.
It's just my mate, Adolf. Steve Brown says Gilly's performing like his Leeds hero Aronson on that spreadsheet. Gilly, we did notice you joined late, so in case you missed it.
That is true.
In case you missed it, Gilly, how the fuck has Lee Fryer gone from 69 to 65?
And where's my 5 points, you bald bastard?
Steve Whitesnake, good evening. Welcome. We've not nearly finished. We've got still loads to get through, believe it or not. We'll probably still be here in the next 20 minutes or so. So
we should try and get Whitesnake on, shouldn't we?
It's just the timing, isn't it?
Especially
he's in New
Get
Zealand.
him on now. Get your send set up, Steve. Come on. Get your
Jay, see if you can send Whitesnake the link to the pod, and if he's free, we'll get him on for 5.
Still laid in bed with bollocks out, I bet.
Probably doing what all other lads on Tactico nonsense should be doing and knocking one out. Media. Next thing, comments was another starred one was Jammy. Smash a like and subscribe. Thank you, Jammy, as ever.
In English.
Solanum says just a more to shout out Bryn and Tony for the commentary when the mouthply goals went in. Plymouth goals.
Mouthply?
That's what it's for. I was fucking well confused there. Skip, just covered that 7.7. I think if he meets all the stuff. Gilly says that Strike getting injured and Bamford coming back signalled our best run last season too. He's not wrong. January last season, we went on that amazing run. Strike was out. Ampadu to centre back. Bamford coming back, scoring that wonder goal at Peterborough. Do you remember? Fucking Ampadu straight over the top, chested it.
Hard not to forget. Would be hard to forget that one. It were an absolute belter.
Bryn says I've been up there with Fishermania rankings. Yeah, I've been doing God's work on social media. Gilly says there's talk of Pope might be available and Newcastle signing a star. That or the Queef Kelleher would be nice.
Yes, Queefer.
I think they're pipe dreams. I think both of those would be pipe dreams, wouldn't they? I think Kelleher would be I think he's going to be well sought after, isn't he? You know, he's not going to probably want to. Who knows?
Surely you'd have thought he'd have already gone this season, though, if he was so sought after.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, won't we? But Pope's obviously in the England setup. I don't expect us to be able to sign him either. But we'll see. Who knows? Who knows? Stranger things have happened. Cool. We'll move on.
Rob
We
Green.
shall move on. Sorry?
Rob Green, he went to lower division team.
Yeah, he did.
Never know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who knows? 40 man the price tag on Kelleher.
Fucking man.
He's off in the summer. He's Kelleher this summer with the
Take knobhead at Southampton. What's his name?
Ramsdale.
Ex-Arsenal. Ramsdale, yeah. Take him. He's a good keeper.
He's a bit nuts as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a bit mental. I think he'd do well at ours. He's a bit of a hex, though, isn't he? He's been frigging relegated 3 times, hasn't he?
Yeah. Let's move on right to Oxford anyway. Oxford Friday night, and then we might have to talk about both really, really quickly. But I imagine the feeling will be relatively similar for both. I think Farker's come out and said today that Dan James might be back for Monday, late fitness test for Friday, and Rothwell will be back after Monday, so for next week. So for the final 2 games, I believe, Plymouth and who else we got?
Stoke.
No, before that,
Bristol.
After that, sorry, Bristol. So he could be back for the final 2 games, Rothwell. So positive news there. Do you expect to see many changes from the team at Preston the other night then, Jay, with that current injury news?
No.
Thanks.
No, I don't see him really mixing things up at this point. I think we're going to just carry on as we were, where we can. Only sort of changes are going to be enforced. I don't think he's going to swap Piro out for Bamford or anything like that. I think he'll keep doing what he's been doing. And as much as I'd like to see Nonto back in the starting lineup, I think that in Farker's mind, he gave that a go, it didn't work. So that's that.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Smarty, what do you reckon? Do you think we'll be seeing a very, very similar lineup? Gruev, Tanaka in the middle, Nonto starting on the right, Solomon on the left, Aronson, Piru, Bogle, Firpo, 3 Welsh lads, the Welsh triangle.
Yeah, exactly the same. You'd be daft not to, and they deserve it. So, yeah. I think a lot of people were banking on Bamford maybe making a starting appearance, but I still don't think he's ready. And why change? Like I say, I've said it a million times. You don't change a winning formula really, even though sometimes we have done this season when it's been needed. But at the minute, we look like we're all relatively fresh, fit, and firing. So yeah, we've got to keep it the same.
Yeah. I'm just looking at Oxford league position and Stokes. Actually, they're both not safe, but are safe. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they're 6 points clear of. Sorry, they're not 6 points clear. Yes, they're 6 points clear of Cardiff, Oxford, and Stoke are 5 points clear. Now, obviously, Friday's games will change that, but if Cardiff beat Sheffield United, there will only be. Well, Derby will still have to play, but yeah. Anyway, they've a few teams below them. They're 17th position. The realism is they're probably not going to get relegated from that position now. Oxford or Stoke, really. But we saw the other night. Yeah, just scroll down. Yeah, there we go. So we can see there Cardiff on 42.
They're not going to want to leave it to chance, though, are they? They're not. Safe,
No, absolutely not.
So
no,
they probably do want to come and try a little bit.
And Burnley didn't get anything down there. Sheffield United got beat down there. He's done a great job with him as Manning. And they're very, very tough side to beat. They've only just come up into the league. They don't show anybody any respect, and they play for each other. They're a good side. So I don't think it'll be as easy. They're not going to roll over for us. We're going to have another physical, emotional 90 minutes of football.
Yeah,
it's Rowett. What's Rowett?
Hey,
what's Rowett?
Saying it's Rowett, the manager, Gary Rowett.
Oh, yeah, of course it is. Sorry, fucking hell.
Manning got sacked, didn't he?
What a disaster of a season for Luton, by the way, just while we're looking at that. They won't have expected that, will they, when they came down?
I think it's hilarious, mate.
It's just nice to see it happen to someone else.
Remember when they were going
Premier League, We're going to make some money. Club's going to be secure. We'll bounce back. You end up there.
That's what I mean. Like when they went to Premier League, we're like, oh, everyone hates us. They take piss out of us because we're this little shit stadium and that. We're great. We're fucking blah blah blah. Yeah, get back down to League One, you pair of wankers.
You know what? I cannot keep up with the manager merry-go-round in the Championship. I didn't realise Rowett was there. I honestly didn't. I thought it was still Manning. Manning's at Bristol, isn't he?
Yes, you might be right, actually.
Manning's at Bristol. Yeah, sorry, everyone. I'm getting completely confused. But yeah, still, he's got Rowett. I didn't mean Rowett. And then I was going to go on and talk about Manning at Bristol. But anyway, it's going to be a tough old game. I still expect us to control it like we have the majority of games. But I just don't see us getting everything going our way. And look, if we win that game, I think we are as good as up, irrespective of other results. With that in mind, I am going to take some predictions while we're here.
Well, let's be honest. There's no point me fucking
no better predictions.
Depressed it.
There's no point me making any predictions because you don't piss in listen anyway. The shit house.
So first one in the comments for Oxford, please, and we'll take that one. 1-1. Danny Talks Sport. We'll take that one. Can you jot them down for us, Jay?
Yeah, I'll do that, mate.
He's clicked his pen as well. Look, he's ready.
And
that's Luke.
That was me. I got a pen out to do it, but then realised I didn't have any paper, so I'd have to do it on my hand. Then I'll go next. I've already actually made a prediction on this, and I can't remember what it was, but I must make sure that I go with the same one. I think I went 3-0. I'm just going to double check.
Tres nil.
3-1. 3-1 I went. 3-1 Leeds.
I think Nigel's a bit behind.
He might be watching, not live. He might be watching.
Yeah, he's probably watching a bit. He's got it. This will be a surprise for you, Nigel, when you see this. Hey, up, pal.
Hey, Nigel.
Well done.
Hi, Nigel.
I'm on TV.
Gilly's gone 2-0.
Fuck Gilly. Don't write his prediction down. Don't write it down.
Yeah, he still hasn't explained his fucking thing, has he? His table yet.
Shit.
Gilly 2-0. What was yours, Luke? Sorry.
Mine was 3-1 Leeds.
Oops.
Then we'll go with Jay. You're next.
I'm going to go 4-1 Leeds.
Ooh, 4-1? What the fuck?
I've got a funny feeling. It's time. It's time for that big score.
Wow. Well. Smarty?
Just for the sake of Gilly, because he don't pay attention to any of my predictions, I'm going to go 1-0 Oxford. Fuck it.
Never. You shit house.
It don't matter anyway.
Yo, dickhead.
Because he's made such a balls up of this frigging thingy table anyway, he can't minus people's points anyway. And he don't add them on anyway, so fuck him.
Anyway.
Right,
and then moving on to Stoke. We'll edit first one in the prediction. First one in the comments can have it.
Oh shit, yeah. 2 lots to write.
And I will go for 2-0 Leeds.
What's the fans one? Did we get a fans one?
No, not in yet. Oh, yeah, 3-0 Bamford hat-trick.
Optimistic as ever, Jammy.
We'll go you next year.
For Stoke, we're at home for that, right? Yeah.
Hope so.
3-1. 3-1 Leeds.
Calm down, Richard.
Judas.
The thing is, if he's right, he's going to come on here, smart, and go, I just had a fucking feeling. I told you. I knew it was going to happen.
Even if I'm right, league won't change. So it doesn't matter. I'll still be sat on 30 points. I'm going to go 3-0 Leeds.
You'll get it right and get a points deduction, like Lee Fryer.
Right.
There we go.
There we go. That's that. Jay, do you want to finish the poll and give us some of the shit take and crown our shit take of the week?
I can do that for us. Give me a moment.
Give us your shit take. We need another jingle. We'll have to sort it out. I'll sort it out. We'll do an outro jingle for shit take.
That was like Dear Maria, that.
Yes, it was.
Just tell me the fucking scores.
I knew it. Luke don't know what we're on about because he's old and he listens to shit. So there's actually it's a tie. It's a tie.
No, it's not.
No, it is. 2 on 41% there. I'm telling you. So free, not for me. They wouldn't sign him on a free, 41%. And the Sheffield United, they always fall apart, 41%. So it's neck and neck. And then
so we'll have the deciding vote. We'll have the deciding vote between the three of us. Which one would you pick, Jay?
What are the options again? What are the two again? Sorry.
Manor Solomon won't sign him on a free. Sheffield United losing on purpose. I'm going to go for the Solomon one because I feel like that's more of a chance of it being a real opinion of an idiot than the other one, which I think someone must have just hit their head and made up.
Smarty, who are you going for?
Solomon for me, definitely.
Oh, then I don't have to vote. How's your luck? Because I would have gone for Solomon. I would have gone for Solomon anyway. And do you want to know why? You want to know the reason why? Because Jack's a dickhead.
Well, that's a good enough reason as any, really, you know.
And that's this week's.
Hey, has got a shit take this week, my little sparrowfat.
Congratulations, Jack, for being the biggest shit.
Steve says we can't even do it as pissing polls, right? He says those.
We haven't lost 2% anywhere. There was 2 more options, Steve. You Doylan.
Bloody hell, Steve! What are you reading?
And that's 80. That adds to 82 anyway. 41 plus 41 is 82.
Yeah, the third place is the Dictator, letting Farke dictate transfers.
You've even made me look at it there, Steve. Fuck's sake.
And
how many percent did that
Melier,
get?
11. And Melier being simply second best.
We've got another.
I did only up to 98. It did.
He's right then. Don't know why. That's what it says.
Oh, there's a few people. Jay's fucked the poll up. First time doing it, and
I haven't fucked it up. It's not the first time, and I haven't fucked it up, you clown. Pipe down.
First time, and he fucks it up. Debs, are you going down to Oxford tomorrow night?
It's because the percentages are rounded. They'll be
fucking hell, what that time, lads. Christ in the bike.
Yeah, Jay just going. He's still going on about something we were talking about.
He just doesn't switch off, does it? When people talk, just like
Steve Brown. Apologies from everybody here at OKB, specifically Jay, because he doesn't know how to count. Well, in Jay, use that 2% for the hype, dickhead.
I don't know why.
He's fuming.
I didn't even have the numbers up. I just told you what the numbers are that it fucking says. So pipe down, you daft bastards. Fuck off.
Yes,
go on, Jay.
Nearly 20 past 10. He snapped like a little ruler, like one of them shatter-resistant helix rulers in maths.
Absolutely outrageous.
Maths nonsense.
Absolute bastards.
Yes, Debs, enjoy down Plymouth, down Oxford, sorry. And if you do manage to get spares for Plymouth, you know where I am.
It's not Plymouth, it's Mouthply.
Mouthply. Yes, so that is pretty much everything. But what we have started doing at the end of the main pod every week is getting a little bit of a story from AMC and his man club in Leeds, and we have got a short story here to be told from one of the facilitators that Smarty's managed to get together from Lee. So we'll just play that really, really quickly for you all.
I just want to tell you a little bit about my story, my journey, how I got to AMC. I battled with anxiety and depression most of my adult life because I lost my 2 brothers when I was a child, and there was no support or counselling back then. I just had to get on with life. This, coupled with an alcoholic father and a further series of close family bereavements growing up, made me feel low, and I became diagnosed with depression as an adult. I got married and settled down, but then my marriage became toxic latterly towards the end of the marriage because I was abused physically, mentally and emotionally. And this led me to trying to end my life in 2019. I ended up being sectioned in Leeds in the Beckling Centre for 12 weeks. But shortly before my breakdown, I attended AMC for the first time. I was a bit sceptical at first, but then I realised that these lads at AMC got me and understood what I'd been through. It helped me immensely, and I believe that the support they gave me at AMC helped me rebuild my life to what it is now. I know I'm not fixed, but I'm getting better every single day. I started facilitating in 2020 and then became lead facilitator in 2024. It was an honour and a privilege to be asked, and I strive to help the next lad who comes through the door on a Monday, as I believe we can help any man who's going through a storm or about to go through a storm or have been through a storm.
Fair play, yeah. That's from one of the lead facilitators at one of the MCs in Leeds. Some yeah. There's AMCs all over the country now. There was a lad in Wakefield who was very well known around Wakefield who recently took his own life, and that's sort of been forefront of a lot of my friends. I wasn't too close to him. I knew of the lad, but yeah, he was going to AMC, and it's been promoted, everywhere now. So no excuses. It's just taking that first step, get yourself through those doors, and it's good to talk, in it, lads. You know what I mean? Even if it's with a stranger or a mate or whatever. So yeah, we do like to add that little bit on to the end of the show every week.
Yeah. There's a few more to come as well. He's sent us a few. He's asked a few facilitators to take part in this, just to help smash the stigma around men's mental health. That's it, and whatever we can do on here, obviously, every little helps. Whatever we can do. So, do you want me to do the readout, by the way?
You can do. I mean, you can just highlight where the AMCs are and that sort of thing, what they get up to around Leeds.
If you're going through a storm or have recently gone through one and you're a man over 18 perhaps, and his Man Club Leeds may be able to help you. We have venues in Horsforth, Kirkstall, Pudsey, Central Leeds, Beeston, Seacroft and Morley. We are open 7 till 9 every Monday barring bank holidays. We also run weekly and monthly social events with our aim to get men talking and to smash the stigma around mental health. Sorry, Lee, he's going to shout at me for messing this up in here. Details of venues and everything we do at Andy Man Club Leeds Facebook, so just give them a follow and get talking, lads. Get talking.
I'm sure I'll accept your ticket again as compensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Not this season.
Just one final thing. We some of us are playing in the Leeds Creator Cup. Everyone's playing by me, which is on, I think, what's the date? Is it sometime in July? Is it the 20th of July, 19th of July? 20th of July? Around about then. But if you scan that, and if you go on the website, you'll be able to buy tickets to come and see that. Again, raising money for another charity, prostate cancer. Been organised by Joe Blackburn. So if you have got any questions, direct them to Joe. Hope to see some of you down there. We will be back with a B&C early Saturday morning with Carl and myself. I believe we're doing it around about 10 o'clock Saturday morning after the Oldham game. And then I would imagine there will be another Monday morning, it'll be Tuesday sometime. It's probably Tuesday evening, which means we'll be delayed for our main pod next week. I'm not sure who's on Tuesday. As we always say, our DMs are always open. Please do like and subscribe. Any questions or queries, you're more than welcome to direct them to our DMs. Enjoy your bank holiday weekends. Stay safe. Anything else to say, lads?
Have a good Easter.
Yeah. Don't overindulge,
guys. And let's hope we get the job done.
Yeah, this time next week we might be talking as a Premier League Leeds United. So who knows? Thank you ever so much and take care. I'll see you Saturday morning.
See ya.